the shadow of Mount Fuji lies a forest untouched by the passage of time. Its name, Aokigahara, evokes fear and intrigue, known worldwide as the Suicide Forest. It is a place where the living go to end their lives, and where the spirits of the dead are believed to linger, trapped between worlds. But Aokigahara is more than just a tragic location. It is a place steeped in ancient myths and terrifying legends. A place where the veil between the living and the dead is thin. This forest is not just a quiet place of nature. It's a living, breathing entity, a dark and foreboding place that has drawn those in despair for decades. But it is also a place where the spirits of those who never escaped are said to remain, haunting the very trees that once swallowed their sorrow. Aokigahara has earned its sinister reputation from the countless lives lost within its depths. Each year, bodies are found, abandoned by those who sought to escape their suffering, their names and stories left to be consumed by the forest. But is the forest truly a sanctuary for the lost souls? Or is there something more? Something that draws people in? Something that keeps them there? Many believe that Aokigahara is haunted, its every branch and root soaked in the sorrow of those who entered, never to return. It's said that those who venture too deep hear whispers in the wind, voices of the dead, calling out from between the trees. It's as if the forest itself is alive, feeding on the fear and despair of those who dare to enter. The ancient myths surrounding Aokigahara paint a chilling picture. According to Japanese folklore, the forest is a yurei, a spirit world, where restless souls wander forever, lost in the darkness. But what makes Aokigahara different is that its spirits are not just passing through. They are trapped, cursed to walk the earth, searching for a way to escape. And some believe these spirits are waiting for others to join them, to take their place. Over the years, many visitors have shared their own unsettling experiences. One man, lost in the dense thicket of the forest, wandered for hours, unable to find his way out. As he stumbled along the narrow paths, he could feel an overwhelming sense of dread, a pressure in the air that seemed to come from all directions. Every few steps, he would hear a rustle behind him, as if someone or something was following closely. He turned to look, but there was nothing there, no one. And then there are the whispers, a soft, unintelligible murmur that drifts between the trees, luring travelers deeper into the darkness. Some say the whispers are the voices of those who died here, calling out to the living, urging them to come closer, to join them in their eternal rest. And once you hear them, it's said that it's too late to turn back. Another visitor, a woman who wandered the forest alone, described a feeling of being watched. As she walked deeper into the forest, she noticed strange markings on the trees, carvings that resembled faces, eyes staring back at her from the bark. But what disturbed her most was the silence. The deeper she went, the quieter it became. No birds, no insects, just an unnerving stillness. And then, in the distance, she saw it, a shadow moving between the trees, a figure tall and thin, darting quickly out of view. She ran, but the feeling of being pursued never left her. She didn't speak of it again. For some, the forest's pull is too strong to resist. A man who ventured into Aokigahara looking for answers claimed to have encountered something that changed him forever. He spoke of a force that seemed to guide him deeper into the forest, urging him to follow. As he walked, the trees grew denser, the air heavier, and the whispers louder. And in the distance, he saw figures, shadowy, indistinct forms, moving between the trunks. As he tried to flee, the forest seemed to close in on him, trapping him in a maze of endless trees. The forest isn't just a place for the living, it's a place for the dead to make their final rest. But there are others who say that Aokigahara's curse runs deeper than just spirits. Some believe the forest itself is alive. Some say it feeds on the emotions of those who enter, drawing them in, amplifying their despair until they have no choice but to stay. Forever, it is in these dark corners of the forest that some have claimed to encounter not just ghosts, but something far more sinister. Dark, formless entities, eyes glowing in the shadows. These are the creatures of the forest, the ones that linger beyond the veil, waiting for the souls of the lost to arrive, to claim their place in the never-ending night. But the forest is not just a place of personal horror. It is a place that tests the very will of those who enter. Many have walked its paths, but few have returned unchanged. The deeper you go into Aokigahara, the more you feel its grip on your mind. Visitors have spoken of strange phenomena, misplaced time, dizziness, and overwhelming emotions that seem to come from nowhere. They say it's as if the forest itself is trying to possess them, bending their thoughts until they can no longer discern reality from illusion. And then there is the dark history of Aokigahara. For centuries, the forest has been tied to Japan's tradition of Ubasudayama, the ancient practice of leaving the elderly to die in the mountains, a cruel tradition that many believe still lingers in the very essence of the forest. Those left to die in Aokigahara were said to become part of the forest, their spirits forever wandering, their anger and sorrow forever haunting the land. The true mystery of Aokigahara remains unsolved. Is it truly the spirits of the dead that haunt the forest? Or is it something much darker, something that has existed long before the first soul entered its depths? Some say the answer is buried within the forest, but perhaps some answers are better left untouched. For those brave enough to step foot in Aokigahara, the forest will test your sanity, your fears, and your very soul. But be warned, not all who enter